Hi, this is Marina from Dance Star Astrology, and I'm looking at the solar eclipse, but I'm looking at it in a way that is geopolitical because that's really what I want to do again. So let's have a look at this one because it does affect a few of important nations' charts. So because so much crazy things are going on in the world at the moment, I just thought I have to address it. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to read through the whole article that I normally do because you can read it on my website and it's no point me just repeating it all. So now I'll just skim over it because we need to get an idea of what this solar eclipse will mean at 2 degrees of Scorpio and what it means for these countries that it is aspecting, that it's going to affect. So now, the moon has its precise degree of its fall in Decan 1 of Scorpio, which is actually 3 degrees of Scorpio. Now, I don't think any of them have got 3 degrees of Scorpio anywhere. I don't remember. Oh my God. Italy has. Oh no. So Italy's, poor Italy's moon, which is the people, has its moon on that degree, which is awful. And it's in their house of money as well. So, and this is the chart from 1946. So, I mean, I don't know if Italy's really is suffering from that moon being like it is. Anyway, so it's known as the devouring moon. It resonates with the goddess Kali. And it's basically the moon in Scorpio 1. It means that it's sexually insatiable. So Italians. Anyway, so at this time, the collective can be totally ruthless and plutonic with its hunger, or they could have a great fear of starvation. And I think that's what's happening, isn't it? People are fearing starvation, and they're fearing whether they can, afford to heat themselves or heat or eat. So it is kill or be killed with this. It does emphasize the cruel cycles of death and rebirth. Nature always seeks to correct itself, even if it has to go through a bloody abortive stage first. So this is an eclipse of extremes. So it's either all or nothing. It can be a summer heat wave or a severe frost. Now, again, that's interesting because we have had heat waves this year. In Europe. I don't know about the US, but certainly in Europe. And they're talking about excess deaths in Europe. And they're saying, maybe it could have been the heat wave that caused that. Anyway, I'll leave it to your imagination. I don't know. Strange though, huh? The reason I think it's even more Lilithy, insatiable, dark Kali is because the moon is going to be conjunct Venus, which is really indulgent as well. Obviously, it's the sun and the moon too. And the moon is trine Lilith as well. This eclipse is going to be trine Lilith. Oh, yeah, moon trine Lilith. And also Venus is trine Lilith as well because it's, the moon is conjunct Venus. So you can read all about it. Just one point. Let's just drop this in as well. For us personally, be really suspicious if you feel a great passion for someone out of nowhere and the desire feels really super magical and, just fantastic because you're going to have to be really discerning over love affairs because this is real love bomb territory. And you have to set some really clear boundaries. Oh, and there also isn't a fixed star for this moon either. So that's why I thought I'd stick in the Lilith aspect because it is quite something really. So let's look at this in terms of who it's going to affect. So now I think this is the hunger issue. So this is going to be about hunger and food supplies for these countries. So it's going to be on the EU sun. That's the EU as a whole. Now its chart, I'm going to put it up because it's the most awful chart. Years ago, I put a post up of it and I just said, this is the most awful chart I've ever seen. It's just, I mean, why on earth would they choose that chart? I mean, sorry if anyone's born at this time, but I just think in the hands of a superpower, which the EU could have been, or I don't think it's going to be now, but in the hands of some kind of strange corporate entity, or bureaucratic thing in Brussels, it's just Mars and Pluto opposite the moon, square Saturn on the descendant. It's just and then Venus is square Uranus as well. It's all squares, and they've got Alphard rising, not Regulus, but Alphard, which is, I mean, Regulus is near, so you could say it was Regulus rising as well. None of these eclipses affect the USA, none of them. So it's all about Europe and Russia. Before I dropped off, and now you can see it's got darker. I lost my thread a little bit. So I was going on about how the EU chart is just horrible. I just don't like it. Oh my God, the EU moon is on Algol, just to make it even more nice. Oh my lordy. We're talking about the starvation, the famine that may affect these countries. So with the EU being on their sun, it's their leaders. So, I mean, I can't see how the leaders are going to be starving unless they can't get their adrenochrome, something like that. I don't know. But the sun represents the head of that country. So the head of the EU. I don't know who is at the moment. Is it? Oh, it's a woman. It's a woman, isn't it? Anyway, she won't get her food somehow. Something that she's craving. But the thing is, it is in the 4th house there. So it's the properties. I don't know. For Germany, it's in the 4th house. It's in the 4th house, squaring their DC. So it is activating their North Node in Aquarius and Descendant in Aquarius. What star is that on? It's on, Altair. So Germany is going to get hit by Pluto. But that's not for a while. But as far as this eclipse is concerned, it's interesting that, so the European Union and Germany are both Leo rising. So it's going to affect like the 4th house, so their land. Anyway, so it's going to hit Germany. I guess because it's triggering their descendant, that's their open enemies. So yes, I was listening to one of the people that I follow who's kind of geopolitical, but they're not astrology. But they were going on about how they think that America really wants to see Europe fail, and the last thing they want is Europe to get in with Russia, because then it makes one really huge superpower. So it's kind of divide and conquer. So yeah, and with the whole Nord Stream 2, which is suddenly sprung some leaks. That's going to affect Germany. Apparently, we get our gas from Norway in the UK. So I do not understand why our gas prices have gone up then. I don't know. But Germany was really, what was happening in Germany, I don't know if you know this in America, but there were protests demanding that they turn on the tap and that they stop this ridiculous, issue with Russia. Because, they're doing sanctions on Russia, but the only people suffering are not Russia. It's like the Germans. So they were protesting and wanting it to be opened again. And then, how interesting that now they can't open it even if they want to, because it's buggered. So there's an enemy. This is triggering Germany's enemies. And who are Germany's enemies? I mean, is it really Russia, or is it the USA? Because, strange. And also also, I mean, I know this is a bit kind of far-fetched in a way, but and also Germany was a different place then. But there are lots of things like with Mars that are going on that are triggering certain things that were happening in World War Two. So, and in World War Two, obviously, Germany was the enemy, and so, and of course, America was the enemy for Germany. So, is that happening again? I don't know, but it's interesting that the eclipse is going to be squaring Germany's north node and the descendant, you know, and of course, yeah, no, the descendant, yeah, and the ascendant. What am I talking about? The ascendant as well. So it's both. It's squaring. It's a big deal for Germany. This one, I don't know why I was focused in on the descendant. Maybe it's just because I saw Aquarius there. It's my sign. Anyway, so now for Italy, it's going to be, let's see the chart of Italy. It's on their moon. It's on their moon. And it's in the second house. So it's money. That is going to affect their money. With the other one, and then the same for England. For England, it's in the second and it's squaring their Jupiter as well. So both Italy and the UK, I don't know if there's going to be starvation. Bloody hope not. But it's strange that we both have the same. It's affecting money situation, I guess. Maybe it's more money than starvation. But for the UK, their Jupiter, that's kind of the law. It's part of this yod for the UK, pointing to Pluto. But anyway, it's money. It's going to affect wealth and probably inflation, I guess. So now for Russia, it's in, like Germany, it's in their seventh house. It's affecting their seventh house, Venus this time, but it's actually in the seventh house. Okay, so this is open enemies, so it's about enemies again, and it will show up who Russia's enemies are, which at the moment it's not the whole world, has to be said. It's just the Western world, and we know why that is probably. Because it's a threat. It's another superpower. Only the West can be a superpower, apparently, or only the USA can be a superpower because they don't really want the Europe being one either. So it's on Venus. I mean, it's wide, but it is square. It's exactly square Saturn in the 10th house. So I guess it negatively affects their image in the world, I guess, or it maybe makes them look more authoritarian than they are, or whatever. So that is that. It's funny how it's not really, it's not affecting the US at all, this eclipse. It really isn't. So it's just Europe. And sorry, I didn't do all the countries. I wanted to do Italy because I want to look at Italy anyway. So I wanted to get their chart done. But that's for another, they're also going through new government as well. So I might look at Maloney's chart. So that's what I want to do. Sorry if today I've got Candida die-off and my brain is a bit absent. But I want to really get into mundane astrology because I find it incredibly interesting. It's all coming out in the world. When I heard about the Nord Stream being sabotaged and then they're blaming it, they're saying Russia are doing it themselves, they could just turn off the tap. I mean, if anyone's interested, maybe I should try and do a chart of when this happened and then we'll see if we can get to the bottom of it. Okay then, so thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye-bye.